My esteemed colleagues on the bench, Dr. Biren Saraf, Advocate General for the state of Maharashtra, Dr. Uday Varunjikar, Member Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Mr. Nitin Thakkar, President Bombay Bar Association, Mr. Prashant Relekar, President Advocates Association of Western India, Mrs. Farzana Behram Kamdin, President Bombay Incorporated Law Society, learned senior advocates and members of the bar, bereaved members of late Justice Radhakrishnan family, members of the registry and staff, ladies and gentlemen. We have assembled here to pay tribute to Dr. Justice S. Radhakrishnan, who left for heavenly abode on 28th of January 2025. Late Justice Radhakrishnan completed his early education from the erstwhile Madras, now known as Chennai. Thereafter, he secured a bachelor's degree in law from Government Law College, Mumbai. He also obtained master's degree in law with gold medal and a doctorate in law from Mumbai University. Late Justice Radhakrishnan was enrolled as an advocate on 15th of October 1971. He practiced in constitutional, civil, labor, and criminal laws. He was designated as senior advocate in December 1991. His merit was soon recognized, and Dr. Justice Radhakrishnan was elevated as additional judge of Bombay High Court on 15th of April 1996. He became a permanent judge of this court on 12th of April 1998 and had a tenure of more than 10 years on the bench. His lordship was known for his dedication and commitment to rule of law, respect for human rights, and love for nature. Late Justice Radhakrishnan had a deep passion for teaching and was well known in academic circles. He taught constitution and administrative law, public international law, and press laws for many years. Late Justice Radhakrishnan was also involved in several committees and organizations, including National Law University, Jodhpur, Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies, University, Mumbai. After demitting office, late Justice Radhakrishnan served as chairman of Maharashtra Administrative Tribunal from 2009 to 2014. During his tenure as chairman of the Administrative Tribunal, dependency of the cases was reduced. His lordship had also chaired the committee for suggesting prison reforms and for recommending involvement of law students in providing legal aid to under trial prisoners. He was known for his calm and compassionate nature and left indelible mark in the fields of law and education. Late Justice Radhakrishnan is survived by his wife Srimati Rajlakshmi Radhakrishnan's son Vivek and sister Meera. On behalf of my colleagues on the bench as well as on my own behalf, I extend heartfelt condolences to the members of the bereaved family. I pray to the Almighty to give them the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss and to bestow peace to the departed soul.
My Lord the Chief Justice, the learned judges of this honorable court, my co-speakers, the family members of late Justice Dr. Radhakrishnan, the members of the registry, learned senior advocates, my fellow members of the bar. We assemble today to pay tribute to Justice Dr. Radhakrishnan, a former judge of this court. Justice Radhakrishnan became a judge of this court in the same year as I joined practice as a lawyer. I had the privilege of appearing before him from my very early days in practice, and he was always very patient and encouraging. He would always endeavor to keep the court proceedings stress free. There were always lighter moments in his court when he would chuckle, make a tongue in cheek remark with a twinkle in his eye, and that really lightened the entire atmosphere in the court. Justice Radhakrishnan was very committed to the cause of education. Prior to becoming a judge, he taught various subjects to LLB and LLM students, including constitutional and administrative law, international laws, and even press laws. He also sponsored education of poor children whose parents came from humble background, and he would personally follow on their progress. He encouraged two of his stenographers, personal assistants, who took voluntary retirement to study law, and both of them now practice as lawyers. Justice Radhakrishnan had a very spiritual bent of mind. In fact, he was an ordained disciple in Hare Krishna movement, and his Diksha name was Radha Ras Bihari Das. Subsequently, he returned back to a life of a regular householder, but his interest in spirituality continued, and he was a voracious reader of many books on religion and spirituality. He brought his spirituality, which teaches compassion, to his decision making. His PhD was on the subject of human rights, which was very close to his heart, and he was very sensitive towards the rights of the marginalized sections of the society. As a judge, he always took an equitable and a very compassionate approach towards the cause of the disadvantaged section of the society. This approach of his led to him being appointed to head a committee to recommend prison reform measures and steps for modernization of prisons. The report prepared by him laid special emphasis on prioritizing health of prisoners and permitting them to meet their children. He made recommendations to avoid crowding and for provision of better facilities based on the model prison manual. As the head of the panel, he got law students to visit the prisons to encourage them to provide legal aid to the less fortunate. Even in his personal life, he was a fierce defender of human rights. During the Bombay riots, he kept one of his juniors who was feeling scared and insecure with him throughout the critical period. The junior later said that his faith in humanity was restored. Just before he passed away, Justice Radhakrishnan donated a big amount to the cause of cancer research. In the passing away of Justice Radhakrishnan, we have lost not just a kind and compassionate judge, but a great human being. I join the Honorable Chief Justice, and on behalf of the state of Maharashtra and the entire body of lawyers, I convey our heartfelt condolences to Mrs. Radhakrishnan and the entire family. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Honorable Chief Justice and other honorable judges of our court, the learned Advocate General for State of Maharashtra, presidents of all three associations, Bombay Bar Association, Advocate Association, Western India, Bombay Incorporated Law Society, members of the registry, senior advocates, family members of late Justice Dr. Radhakrishnan, ladies and gentlemen who are present here either physically or online. I fully associate myself with the feeling expressed by the Honorable Chief Justice and the learned Advocate General on behalf of all lawyers enrolled with the state of Maharashtra, state of Goa, Union Territory of Dadra Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu. I offer our deepest condolences to the family members of Justice Radhakrishnan. As a member of a Bombay Bar, Dr. Radhakrishnan was known for his academic excellence. He was a topper in the LLM. Apart from that, he was teaching almost for 11 years in the New Law College. Later on, he was also associated with the Bombay University so far as the LLM teaching aspect is concerned. Justice Radhakrishnan joined practice in the year 1971, and after 20 long years, he was designated as a senior lawyer by our court. Very soon in 1996, he was elevated as a judge of our court, and he got a tenure of around 12 long years. I feel myself very fortunate that I had appeared before Justice Radhakrishnan. He was known as one of the judges who had followed the principles of equity. He had encouraged large number of junior lawyers in his unique style. He used to encourage young lawyers. He used to speak in a very soft-spoken words and a typical Bombay style. After attaining the age of superannuation, Justice Radhakrishnan was appointed as a chairman of Maharashtra Administrative Tribunal, and he got a period of around 5 long years as a chairman, in which he has delivered several judgments on the administrative law also. I feel myself very fortunate lawyer who appeared for the petitioners in a public interest litigation in which Justice Radhakrishnan was appointed as a chairperson of the committee for the reforms in the for jail reforms. In 2017, Justice Radhakrishnan submitted the report, and our High Court is supervising implementation of different recommendations which were made by that committee from time to time. In the year 2020, I am told that he was also a member of a committee which was appointed about distribution of the assets of those victims of Punjab Maharashtra Cooperative Bank. I feel myself once again fortunate that I got certain tips from Justice Radhakrishnan when I had showed him my rough draft of the book, which was in the pipeline at that point of time. He was known as an expert in the field of constitution as well as the administrative law. In his demise, we have lost a scholarly judge. Apart from that, on behalf of the chairman, vice chairman, BCI member, and all our other elected members of Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, I offer our deepest condolences to the family members of Justice Radhakrishnan. Let his soul rest in the peace. Om Shanti Shanti.
My Lord the Chief Justice and the other honorable judges of this court, Dr. Birendra Saraf, Advocate General of Maharashtra, Dr. Uday Varunjikar, Member Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Sri Prashant Relekar, President Advocate Association of Western India, Srimati Farzana Behram Kamdin, President Bombay Incorporated Law Society, the senior advocates and other colleagues at the bar, family members of Justice Radhakrishnan, the Registrar General and other members of the High Court administration, ladies and gentlemen. We have gathered today to pay tributes to our former judge, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. I fully associate myself with what is said by my Lord, the Chief Justice, and my previous speakers. I propose to remember him, that side of Justice Radhakrishnan's life, which is known to a very few people. His humility, his love for green spaces, nature, and his spirituality, and his generosity. My learned friend, Dr. Saraf, has mentioned about his spirituality. Let me elaborate a little further. In his young age, when he was at the bar, he was under influence of ideology of ISKCON. He would keep shikha and seek alms. He believed that if he deviates from the path of righteousness, the Lord would hold his shikha and bring him to the right path. Seeking alms was to inculcate humbleness. Later on, he removed shikha and stopped seeking alms, but he did not leave the path of righteousness and always was humble. It reflected in his treatment to juniors and seniors in his court. All were treated equally. On the contrary, the juniors were encouraged to argue without fear in his court. A very competent junior was appearing in his court, and his father, a very respected senior advocate, would go to his court and would assist the junior. Justice Radhakrishnan very politely told the senior that the junior was extremely competent and he should trust him and also trust the judge who would take care of him. His junior, Sri Rui Rodriguez, shares an incident that Justice Radhakrishnan was very clear about his ethics. Justice Radhakrishnan, on his elevation, told his junior that he would not appear in his court. Justice B.P. Sinha was the Chief Justice at that time, and he was presiding over a bench before whom Sri Rodriguez argued a matter for 4 days. While the matter remained parted, the bench changed, and Justice Radhakrishnan joined the bench. Chief Justice knew that this bench would not be able to take up the matter, and he called Sri Rodriguez and told him that he should not return the brief, and he would persuade Justice Radhakrishnan to allow him to appear in that matter. Chief Justice spoke to Justice Radhakrishnan, who remained firm that if Mr. Rodriguez appears in the matter, he would remove the matter from the board. The matter proceeded with another counsel appearing in the matter. Sri Radhakrishnan believed in meditation and japa. As he believed, this created inner strength and helped him maintain balanced mind and calmness in court while doing stressful work for the whole day. He would occasionally request High Court doctor to check his BP in the evening after a very stressful day and would feel happy that it would remain normal. He credited meditation and japa for his calmness and equilibrium. During Justice Radhakrishnan's 11 months tenure as a visiting judge at Nagpur, He enrolled to the gardener's course conducted by the reputed Nagpur Garden Club. His lordship did not reveal his identity to the club as his co-trainees were only gardeners. Subsequently, at the conclusion of the course, at the certificates distribution event, a well-known organic farmer, late Manohar Bhau Parchure, who himself was a Krishi Mitra, was incidentally also a lawyer, spotted him amongst the gardeners and was taken aback. He invited the judge to be on the dais, but true to his nature, Justice Radhakrishnan politely declined and the request and said that he would want to be seated with his co-trainees and receive the course certificate during his turn to receive it. His humbleness came to the fore. The judge utilized his gardening knowledge to beautify the High Court complex at Nagpur through gardens and also made an excellent kitchen garden at the judge's bungalow at Nagpur, growing organic stuff which he would distribute to his colleagues. He also encouraged them to cultivate such kitchen gardens and promoted organic farming. He always saw and felt in plants, life in plants, and said we must touch them, feel them, and speak to them. This comes with spiritual bent of mind. He was on the governing council of Kaivalyadham. I was fortunate to share the meeting room with him when I joined the governing council last year. He was regularly visiting the institution and providing his valuable guidance. A few months ago, he stayed there for a week to practice yoga. He was expressing his desire to stay there longer. Unfortunately, that wish did not happen. Such a spiritual person's soul, I am sure, will achieve eternal peace. On behalf of myself and all members of Bombay Bar Association, I join your lordship in conveying our heartfelt condolences to his wife and son and other family members. Om Shanti.
Honorable Chief Justice Sri Alok Aradhye, Honorable Judges of the Bombay High Court, Advocate General Dr. Virendra Saraf, Member of the Bar Council of Maharashtra, Dr. Uday Varunjikar, President of Bombay Bar Association, Sri Nitinji Thakkar, President of Incorporated Law Society, Farzana Beram Kamdi. It is with profound sorrow that we gather here today to mourn the passing of Justice Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, stalwart of the judiciary whose contribution to the legal fraternity shall forever remain invaluable. Justice Radhakrishnan enrolled as an advocate in 1971 and quickly rose to prominence in the Bombay High Court, excelling the constitutional and civil, labor, criminal, company and service law. His lordship deep understanding and constitutional and administrative law set him apart, earning him the distinction of the senior advocate in December 1991. His lordship legal acumen was complemented by his exceptional academic achievements, having stood first in LLM at Mumbai University, a testament of his legal intellectual brilliance. As a judge, his lordship exemplified the highest ideals of fairness, integrity, and judicial propriety. His judgments were marked by profound legal insights, careful reasoning, and firm commitment to justice. His lordship tenure was defined by a deep sense of responsibility towards the rule of law. Justice Radhakrishnan courtroom was place of wisdom, patience, and fairness. Justice Radhakrishnan was also a great mentor. He believed in encouraging young lawyers, ensuring that the juniors had an opportunity to argue their cases. If he saw the promise in the young advocate, he let them present their case fully. But if he felt that they needed a guidance, he would gently ask them to go, return, and get their senior for the next day. This simple but a meaningful gesture helped shape the confidence and morale of many young lawyers, the legacy that will live on in the bar for years to come. Once the senior lawyer, late M.T. Balawkar, who was 80 years old, was the senior of the bar member, remarked, and I quote, "The taste of a good judge is how pleasant and comfortable the lawyers feel in appearing before that court, whatever may be the outcome of the case." He further added that Justice Radhakrishnan fulfilled the test 100%. His lordship was known to deliver justice tempered with mercy. As the president, I expect the same from the present judges. Justice Radhakrishnan was known to be protective towards the junior and would not allow the senior members of the bar on the opposite side to ride roughshod over the juniors. Our association sincerely expects such an exemplary approach towards the junior by the present judges had it goes a long way in building confidence in the upcoming juniors. Beyond his judicial excellence, Justice Radhakrishnan was known for his humility, compassion, and sense of duty. His passing is not just a loss to legal fraternity, but also to the ideals of justice that he also steadfastly upheld. As we bid a farewell to legal luminary, we extend our deepest condolence to his family, friends, colleagues. His lordship legacy will continue to inspire generation and legal professional and serve as a guiding light for those who seek and uphold the rule of law. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you. Om Shanti.
The Honorable Chief Justice, Honorable Judges of this Honorable Court, Dr. Birendra Saraf, Advocate General, Dr. Varunjika, Member Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Mr. Nitin Thakkar, President, Bombay Bar Association, Mr. Prashant Relekar, President, Advocates Association of Western India, bereaved members of Justice Radhakrishnan's family, members of the registry and staff, and members of the bar. I associate myself with all that has been stated by the Honorable Chief Justice and my co-speakers with regard to Justice Radhakrishnan. We have gathered here to pay homage to a humble man. Justice Radhakrishnan started his practice as an advocate in 1971 and was designated as a senior counsel in 1991. He practiced constitutional, civil, labor, and criminal law matters. He was a standing counsel for Bombay University and appeared in several important matters. He was elevated to the bench in 1996 and retired in December 2008. Amongst the various judgments that he delivered in his judicial career spanning 12 years, one of the landmark judgments he delivered was in the textile mills land case, where he determined the mill owner's share in the mill lands would be restricted to 1/3, while MADA and BMC would get the balance 2/3 of the lands for housing poor and providing public amenities. He was also a dedicated academic and actively promoted legal education. For several years, he taught the Constitution, administrative law to LLB students and public international law to LLM students, as also press laws. After demitting office, Justice Radhakrishnan served as a chairperson of the Maharashtra Administrative Tribunal from 2009 to 2014. In January 2018, he was appointed as chief of the panel to look into prison reforms. He decided to bring in law students to visit prisons and become understudies for legal aid to the less fortunate. His work in prison reforms was directed towards reducing overcrowding in jails and improving the health conditions of inmates. I had the privilege of interacting with Justice Radhakrishnan not only when he was a counsel, but also of appearing before him when he was a judge of this honorable court, and after his retirement, appearing before him when he was appointed as an arbitrator in my matters. It is his smile, affable nature, and the twinkle in his eyes that I will always recollect whenever I think of him. He was humble, always approachable, friendly, kind-hearted, helpful to all who sought his assistance, especially to juniors at the bar. Justice Radhakrishnan leaves behind a void and will be missed by all of us at the bar, but his legacy will live on. On behalf of the Bombay Incorporated Law Society and myself, I extend my heartfelt condolences to the members of Justice Radhakrishnan's family and pray that his soul rests in eternal peace.
As a mark of respect to the departed soul, we shall now rise and observe a minute's silence.